The news that was shown today was a treat, since it demonstrated that the whole Securities and Exchange Commission CSE agency, with Gary Gensler receiving the most prominence, was entirely ignored and made fun of by Congress. Due to this piece of news, the cryptocurrency market and XRP in particular are going to do really well. All of the actions that Congress took, as well as the words that they used, were so full of. The fact that they pretty much validated my assumption that the SEC's case against XRP and the majority of other cryptocurrencies is already over in court has made me angry and upset. The SEC, Ripple, and XRP are all seen to be losers when it comes to cryptocurrency. As of this moment, 42 members of Congress have sent a letter to the head of the Securities and Exchange Commission, 121, and to allow all banks to purchase and retain Bitcoin as well as other cryptocurrencies. Despite the fact that Congress has already objected to SAB 121, the Securities and Exchange Commission is currently dodging the issue. In an effort to put a stop to this, the Securities and Exchange Commission has recently granted special clearance to a select group of financial institutions and banks, including BNY Mellon, to be excluded from SAB 121 and to proceed with cryptocurrency custody. I do not agree with this. It is his responsibility to ensure that everyone has an equal opportunity to get rid of the unfortunate one build. After all, that is his job. It is not appropriate to give them a good start. Later on in this video, we are going to examine the shambles that occurred between Conquest and the SEC. This will allow you to witness for yourself how cruel they were when they were speaking about the agency. This will assist you in determining whether or not I am correct in asserting that the litigation over XRP has been formally resolved, which is something that I firmly believe to be the case. This is due to a number of factors, one of which is the fact that both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris appear to have a strong support for cryptocurrency. In fact, Harris recently stated that she would contribute to the expansion of artificial intelligence and digital assets if she were elected. Gabby Gensler does not appear to have much of a motive to continue holding down Ripple, XRP, and the growth and use of cryptocurrency unless he is simply being petty, which is something that I would not rule out. This seems to be the case despite the fact that we already know that Donald Trump is a supporter of cryptocurrency. However, he shouldn't do it. One nation. As you can see, it is written down that the beginning of the wonderful relationship between Tradefire and crypto banking banks will take place in the year 2024. The occurrence of this is taking place at this very moment and will continue for the next few months. Make sure you are prepared to have an impact on the market. We are witnessing all of this happening right now. The value of XRP is anticipated to increase, and its adoption rate will also skyrocket as crypto and fiat currencies come together. The reason for this is that they have established protocols, technological advancements, and institutional alliances with governments, central banks, and other international institutions of a significant size. Several of these organizations are now incorporating Ripple's technology into the back end of their own platforms. Following the conclusion of the litigation, I anticipate that XRP will experience a surge in both its adoption and its price. In light of this, then, at this point, there is no specific date for when the lawsuit will finally come to a finish. As a result of recent happenings in Washington, D.C., we do not believe that the Securities and Exchange Commission will file an appeal on October 7th yet. Ripple Stewart Alderati CL and O have all predicted that the SEC will most likely still file an appeal against Judge Torres' decision. If that date comes around, there is a possibility that the price of XRP may drop significantly, which is something that I find very appealing. In the event that this case is taken all the way to the Supreme Court, I believe that Ripple and XRP will prevail just like Jewel Oldrot does. Therefore, I will view this as a tremendous opportunity that will only come around once in a lifetime to purchase a great deal more XRP at discounted prices. They provided evidence that it was fabricated, particularly in light of the fact that the primary action brought by the SEC that utilized the phrase crypto assets is no longer legitimate. According to what Congressman Tom Emmer said earlier today when he raged at Gary Gunter, the term crypto asset security is being used, despite the fact that it is merely a legislative concept. He went so far as to say that we could not have had a more lawless or worse CEO of the Securities and Exchange Commission, and I totally agree with him. You should pay close attention. The SEC violated the law, and your attorneys lied to the court about the situation. No one in your leadership here in Washington, D.C. has been held accountable for this, however. It makes perfect sense. It would appear that everything is proceeding according to plan in Washington. There are a great number of court cases currently being heard. The market is quite perplexing, and millions of people in the United States are waiting for you to clarify the situation. The agency's enforcement capabilities have been exploited by you, and you have even utilized businesses who are willing to comply with your rules as bait in order to then conduct enforcement actions against those businesses. Businesses and individuals that appeared before this committee to discuss the next generation of American finance have suffered losses as a result of your conduct during this meeting. You might be doing the worst thing you've ever done. The phrase crypto asset security is a term that you have created on your own. No law ever makes use of this particular word. It was a fabrication on your part. Regarding the manner in which the security of crypto assets could be stated within the parameters of your SEC, you have never made any statement. Having said that, you have stated in a general sense that you believe the majority of tokens are crypto asset equities. Oh, you did it. The entire campaign that you have been doing for the past 3 years in the field of law enforcement has been predicated on this fictitious word. However, just a week before last, your attorneys brought it up again in a footnote to a court. The fact that you hold such divergent opinions on this subject has caused our nation to go more slowly. Throughout the course of history, there has never been a more lawless or worse individual to serve as the head of the Securities and Exchange Commission. At long last, Gabby Gensler was removed from the equation, yet XRP and crypto legislation continue to be obstacles in the process. If you assume that adoption will finally take place in the United States, you are mistaken. It is much closer than you might imagine. Consequently, I anticipate a robust bull run that is driven by institutional factors in the near future. I am really positive about cryptocurrency at the moment, which is also the reason why I created a Discord group that is open to anyone who wants to join it. The group currently has 350 members who are working toward achieving financial independence and learning new things every day. Please do not hesitate to sign up. Additionally, Ripple ought to and most likely will prevail in this issue before the Supreme Court. This is due to the fact that in the calendar year 2021 to 2022, the same manager that I mentioned, Tom Emmer, presented Bill H.R. 4451 Security Clarity Act, which states that the asset will be classified as a commodity and that a new term, investment contract asset, will be derived from it. Undoubtedly, this is the essence of XRP. As of right now, we are still waiting for this measure to be passed, but as soon as it is, everything will be clear and there will be no more crowns. Yes, Gary Gensler is going to have to defend Ripple in yet another lawsuit, which I believe to be an absurdly foolish case brought by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Clearly, I am not the only one who thinks the Securities and Exchange Commission CC, is a joke. The session that took place today was marked by a great deal of anger on the part of Congress, which questioned Gary Gensler and the SEC from every relevant angle. Take note of this. The CC, which was once a proud institution, will be transformed into a poor organization, according to Chair Patrick McHenry, who claims that Chair Gary Gensler's memory will be responsible for this transformation. Not only did he continue on from there, but that is also two of his points. All of the things that he mentioned throughout that conversation are on paper here. Rather than playing it, I will simply read it out loud. I am not going to play it. In addition to a number of other significant statements, Patrick Henry mentioned that Chairman Gary Gensler had just stated that the Securities and Exchange Commission SE adheres to the standards that are established by Congress. On the contrary, this is the furthest thing from the reality. It is not only his word that the Securities and Exchange Commission SE was not following the law, that is something that a number of federal judges who were appointed by presidents of both parties have pointed out by reversing the choices and acts of rulemakers. For the second time, I would like to bring your attention back to Senate Bill 121. There has been no action taken by the Securities and Exchange Commission SE in response to the fact that Congress does not provide the necessary funds for the enforcement of Senate Bill 121. On the contrary, they have been secretly granting particular banks authorizations that are not generally available. They are in violation of the law in every possible way.